So the topic of today's conversation is stillness is enough. And I'm just curious if anyone has any reflections on what that actually is pointing us to. Why would I title a topic or an inward practice requiring or stating that stillness is enough?
If I were to add something to that, Joe, for me, when I think of stillness, I feel that when I am completely still and inward, that I can focus and see things more clearly in the external environment.
Yeah. Anybody else have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree with that because I wrote a blog about the fact that, you know, I'm sort of writing a series of blogs right now about communication, and I was saying how at the beginning of lockdown, I went very much inward to help me sort of process the reality that I was having to, the external reality that I was having to take in. And the way that my sort of series of the blogs has continued is not only is it really important to be thoughtful with the things that we say to one another, as well as the things that we choose not to say to one another, but that right now, sometimes it's okay to say nothing, you know, because we're in such a highly politicized environment. And, you know, by you venting your frustrations or fears, that what you're really doing is giving off that energy of negativity and putting those anxieties onto the next person. So something that you said in the past, Joe, about, you know, is it truthful, helpful, kind, you know, I think that
necessary.
Well, I saw an iteration of this.
Yes, there's a few.
One change, but anyway, it doesn't matter. That resonated really powerfully with me for all these many weeks since I heard you say that. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Amy. Appreciate that. Yeah, so
I have something to say too, if I.
Oh, please, Debbie. Absolutely.
For me, the COVID experience and it has been the universe saying, you know, go home. And we were told to go home as far as to isolate, but this is a message to me to go home inward. And to do that is then to be able to appropriately, first of all, be in my own body, be one with myself, just be love, be the compassion and love that I am at my core. And then it helps me connect with the universe and know that the universe is out there in that same way for me. So.
Yeah. I can tell you've been in your inner world a little bit, Debbie.
I'm working on it, baby.
Yep. I can tell you've spent some time there. And, you know, let's be really practical and then we'll do our practice. Practicality in stillness is that we are refining. Practicality in stillness means that we're refining our energy. Stillness means that we're able to take it where it needs to go energetically. That we aren't a confluence of the chaos of our mind or the sporadic energy that has been created by the outer world reactions and responses and absorption from the outer world. But once you become still, you're able to process, absorb, assimilate, and compress in a positive way what's going on the inner world. And then we begin to see the subtle or feel the subtle, depends. Whatever you feel or see, you direct your self to something more than what the outer world is giving you. And that compass of stillness actually is profound because it's your teacher. It becomes the very thing that's showing you the way. Sure, maybe just the ankle or the foot that's sore today and you feel like that's all you're focusing on is the stillness and you feel your foot. And some days are like that. And other days you're actually noticing something more than just your body. And that's the gratitude and the information, the wisdom that comes from noticing something more than your body, it actually takes you to the place deeper within your inner world. We have to let go of the mirror that we know as ourselves and the outer world, and look at this new self that can be developed through stillness. And let me just share this before we begin to practice. You won't find it out there. You won't find it through movement out there in the outer world. So the more you decide to keep moving, the more you will avoid yourself. Stillness becomes the only bridge, in my view, and in many Eastern philosophies and practices, that allows us to be with ourselves finally, to know who we really are, and to have the power to do what we want to do. Dina was saying, her reflecting on freedom, and I'll just share this definition and then we'll begin. Freedom in the yogic lens is the ability to do what you want to do, the ability to do what you don't want to do, and the ability to undo what needs to be undone. And that is pure freedom. And I know that's a big mouthful to swallow on a Sunday morning, but let's all just contemplate that just a little bit in our lives. And when we really want to say we're going to do something, we do it, right? And when we say we don't want to do something, we confirm and we don't do it. And we realize that we have patterns within ourselves that need to be undone. Patterns of consciousness, thought, behavior, etc. All right, so that's a little juice on stillness today. I'm just going to mute everybody to make sure we're all going to be quiet in our stillness. We'll practice today. We're going to start the practice by doing some alternate nostril breathing. I haven't guided you in deep breathing in a while, so I feel a call to bring you back to your deep breath. So we're going to do alternate nostril breathing. For those of you who are new to this, it's taking your right hand into a peace sign and then press those two fingers into the palm of your hand. Then you're going to have your ring finger and your thumb, and you're going to place those on either side of your nose. That's the position of your hand for alternate nostril breathing. Now, a little note to yourself, if your hand gets tired, which it might, go ahead and switch your hand. It's okay. You don't need to always hold the right hand in place, but sometimes it can get a little crampy or your shoulder might get a little tired. So feel free just to let the arm go down and reverse the position of the other hand. That's perfectly legal in yoga world. But you're pinching not just the tip of the nose here, but you're pinching up here where the cartilage is, that soft cartilage, and you just press into that point very lightly. And we're going to block each side of the nostril one at a time, breathing in one side and out the other. And I'll go ahead and guide you. So find your seat most comfortable today. Just rest your hand down. We'll just get there in a second. Close your eyes. Welcome, everybody. Happy Sunday. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up for your inner world. It's starving for your attention. That beautiful outer world seems to keep stealing all the limelight. And now you're feeding it today, the vastness and the boundlessness of the inner world. So your spine needs to be tall, so do the best you can to find that space. But relax elsewhere. Now that takes a moment, so I'm going to give you a minute or so just to feel a tall spine, but relax elsewhere. Now already you're feeding your inner world just by noticing all the things, all these little pieces, whatever you're noticing. tension points, discomfort points, maybe a busy mind, spinning thoughts. Just notice the little bit of comfort now you're creating through stillness, and how stillness is your teacher. Lovely. So let's now do a little alternate nostril breathing. It's called Nadi Shodhana in Sanskrit. And it means balancing the left and right sides of the brain. You can think of it like the Ha and the Tha of Hatha Yoga, sun and moon. You can think of it as the yin and the yang. It's these opposites. So let's take our right hand, take that peace sign and place it into the palm of the hand, and your thumb and ring finger go on either side of your nose. You're going to be mindful of where you place these, the thumb and the ring finger, just where the cartilage is. Now relax that right arm just enough so it doesn't feel like the elbow is lifting too high or the shoulder is rising up towards the ear. So there's comfort there. To begin alternate nostril breathing, we'll blow out of our mouth first. So all the air is expelled out, and go ahead and do that now. And then you'll block your right nostril first, inhaling into your left nostril. Once you've inhaled into your left nostril, block both nostrils and then exhale out your right nostril. When you're done with that exhale, you'll inhale right nostril. Block your right nostril and exhale out your left nostril. Inhale into your left nostril. Block your left nostril, exhale out your right nostril. Inhale right nostril. Block the right, exhale left nostril. That's 2 rounds. I'll do one more with you. Inhale left nostril. Notice how smooth it is. Block the left, exhale out the right. Inhale into your right. Block your right, exhale out the left. Now please continue on your own, and I'll guide you with a few thoughts along the way. So that was 3 rounds. You can continue the same pattern. In the left, out the right, in the right, out the left. Same kind of feeling. You don't need to count, just feel and sense. Not too deep of a breath, but very much in your control. And at this point, you're not stopping the breath, so be conscious of that. As you rise to the top of the inhale, make that transition as you switch the nostrils and exhale. The energetic idea is that as you inhale into one nostril, you're affecting the opposite side of the body, or opposite side of the mind, or hemisphere of the brain. The left side is the moon side, or the cooler side. The right nostril is the sun side, or the hotter side. So continue to flow in this smooth pattern. In the left, out the right, in the right, out the left. Controlling the breath, feeling easeful as you're doing so. So it's not rigid or tight, or it's not a bumpy breath. These next few rounds, I want to invite you to feel the energy or the subtle force within the feeling of breathing. So, yes, there's technique, but then there's subtle currents behind the technique. Again, if your hand is getting fatigued, just switch hands. It's okay. Those of you new to alternate nostril breathing might feel that fatigue. I'd like you to finish the next round exhaling out the left side. That will be your completed round. And then you can just relax the hand back down to the leg. And then I'd like to invite you to feel mental alternate nostril breathing. So this is on an effortless breath. So taking a moment to settle in to that effortless breath. Noticing the difference between deep breathing and effortless breathing. And once you feel that effortless flow, that, in other words, you're not the breather, the body breathes, and you're watching the breath, then feel the sensation rise up the left and descend down the right. And then it rises up the right and descends down the left. This is sensation, not deep breathing. This is feeling flow, the currents of energy. Notice the more your concentration deepens, the more you can feel and sense and experience this subtle, energetic flow that rises and descends. Now, wherever you are, just feel the flow through both nostrils at the same time, ascending and descending at the same time, rising up and descending down. The two currents now meeting, joining at the middle of the eyebrows and descending back down on the exhale. Use the effortless flow of breath to feel this movement. It's right there for you. Just direct your mind to feel and sense that space. Feel how your energy is collecting, how stillness is actually giving you the power to direct energy, sensation, feeling. And how this refinement of energy actually is more potent than the energy that is undirected. With every breath, I invite you to believe more deeply in the power of the collection of this energy and the power of the stillness that has created that collection. Please let go of technique. Let go of the awareness of breath and be only aware of awareness. Rest in the space of awareness itself, which is the very light that allows you to see all that you get to see and feel in the inner world. Feel the presence of awareness. Awareness allows you to know you're still. Awareness allows you to know that you are embodied. Awareness allows you to feel effortlessness. Awareness allows you to see, feel, and experience the vast, limitless now, the present moment, the eternal now. The formless now, the timeless now, the eternal now. Please become aware of yourself again and the body that you are living in, breathing in. And maybe take some deeper breaths in and out of the body just to caress yourself back. It might be a good idea to bring your hands together and just rub your hands, create a little friction, a little heat. And then once you've done that, you can hover your hands over your eyeballs and just let the hands hover there for a moment. Feel the force of that energy from palms into the brain and let that revitalize the mind. And then if you want, you can take your hands down to your throat and just hover your hands there for a moment. Just feel what your palms are, the heat from your palms, the sensation from your palms moving into the throat. And if you'd like, you can take your hands now over your heart. You don't have to touch your body. You can just hover the hands over the heart center area. And just feel the warmth from the palms move into the body. It's a nice feeling. And then just continuing down to complete the cycle, down to the navel. Again, just hover the hands around the navel, just for a moment. Feel what that's like. Sense the energy moving into the body, towards the spine. And then finally down to the base of the spine. So just kind of hovering the hands in front of the base of the spine. And just feeling yourself ground down, center down, feel rooted down. And bringing your hands back into prayer position, if you'd like, and bow your head down towards your prayer. Just taking a moment here to have gratitude for the practice and for what it taught you. May you recognize in your life the presence, power, and light of your soul. May you realize that you're never alone, and that your soul in its brightness and belonging connects you intimately with the rhythms of the universe. May you have respect for your individuality and difference. May you realize that the shape of your soul is unique, and that you have a special destiny here, and that behind the facade of your life there is something beautiful and eternal happening. May you learn to see yourself with the same delight, pride, and expectation with which God sees you in every single moment. And when you're ready, you can open the eyes and let the outer world back in so that you have the two worlds meet. The practice is now complete. So while you're all coming back, just a reminder, some of you email me about the practice. It's always posted on my website. I do encourage you to go back to the practice at least once again, without maybe in this setting, but in your own setting at a different time and place. And so you can feel that. So always going back to my website, which is a free button there, and then you'll see all the practices there. And then I just wanted to say a moment of gratitude to Dina for continuing to support this journey and giving us space to all be together, which is really wonderful. And so I appreciate that energy, Dina. You've certainly opened your heart up to this. And I just want to know that I continue to thank you and feel the warmth from that gesture. And then thank you to all that have continued to support this Sunday Sangha financially. I appreciate that as well. PayPal.me/my name. You can continue to do that if you're feeling it. But I'd like to unmute people to see if there's any thoughts you want to share. I have nothing in my head right now. I'm pretty blank. So it's a good thing for the moment. So I'm going to unmute everybody. And so if you have a blank mind, that's fine. So, but if you have anything you'd like to share, I certainly would love to hear it, and certainly grateful that you're all here today.
So, Joe, I would like to say a few words about how much it means to me, and I know to the rest of the group, about having you be with us every Sunday morning and be committed and to give us words of wisdom and guidance. And I know it's helped all enormously during this, time of, trying time of being isolated, right?
Yeah.
So we lose that sense of isolation when we are all together, right? Even on Zoom. I mean, it's remarkable how much of a difference that can make.
Yeah.
So really, thanks to you too.
Yeah. Thanks,
Much
Dina.
appreciated.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Dina was one of my first students.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah. We met when I first started teaching. So.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
So we've known each other for 12 years now.
Right.
Yeah. What else? Anybody else?
I have a question.
Yes, my sister Lisa.
Um,
Good morning from California.
Yes, the reason that I'm always a black screen is that it's 7 o'clock in the morning here, and I literally roll out of bed.
See how much she loves me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes I don't make it though.
It's all good.
So I have a question. I had terrible difficulty with the alternate nostril breathing because my left side was so plugged.
Yeah.
So, I couldn't get enough oxygen in through the breathing in and out.
Yeah.
And I had to stop it after a couple rounds. So
Okay.
I'm just wondering, it didn't feel necessarily like it was, plugged, like I had to blow my nose, but maybe just from dryness or something. But there was a definite difference, and it didn't allow me to do the practice. So I'm wondering if you had any suggestions regarding that.
There's a lot that the yoga tradition talks about with that. Obviously, neti cleansing. The reason why we do neti cleansing is because we want to train the body to open up those nostril passages. So it isn't just a once in a while opportunity. It's a regularity that allows us to constantly cleanse those things. Food actually has a part of that story. I'm sure you know that, Lisa. So sometimes what we eat clogs up our system. So there's that. How we slept is also another part of it. So that's another issue that might cause this area to be not open freely. Mentally as well, if there's something emotional going on, that will also be an issue. But on a more practical side, just something we can do is, asana actually helps move this so that you can open up those passages as well. So certain kind of twisting poses that you certainly can dive into helps with the side to side, left side, right side energy channels, as well as doing a really simple thing, which my teacher's teacher's teacher talks a lot about, where you can just lay on your side. So if you lay on your back, for example, and chill out for a moment, and then you lay on your side for maybe about 10 breaths, and then you lay on your other side for about 10 breaths, and then you lay back on your back, sometimes that opens up the passageway as well. Last idea around that, Lisa, is this is from another teacher I was talking to. If you wake up and you notice your left nostril is blocked, then place your right foot on the floor first. And according to this teacher, that will help open up the opposite side.
Oh, jeez. That sounds a little superstitious or something, but okay.
It's just energy. So these are ideas,
So if I'm, I of course didn't know we were doing this practice, and I was not aware that my left side was so blocked. So if I was going to start a practice in the morning, and I noticed that one side was blocked and I couldn't remedy that, would I just switch to using the side that is open, or not do the practice at all? Or
so another suggestion I have is, when you're in alternate nostril breathing and you're feeling one side blocked, you can actually manipulate your fingers, and you can actually open up the passageway just with your fingers. So by just by moving the finger, kind of moving the nostril to the right a little bit, you can open it up a little bit.
Oh,
So
I see.
that actually, and anatomically makes sense too, because you're just kind of just making it bigger. So no, you really don't want to avoid the practice. You actually want to embrace it, is kind of where I'm going with my energy. Last week, Lisa, I don't know if you did this one, but last week, does everyone remember when we did this, cross the arms and we did the fingers, the thumbs were out? So this was another way. I don't know, Lisa, if you were around last week.
I think I may have been sleeping through that one.
So this is another way you can open up the side. So the teaching says if you feel the left side blocked, then press that side. So my left chest, I'm going to press on my left chest, and I wait for the energy to start to clear, and eventually it will clear. So there's good points. There's lots to do, in other words.
So in other words, you're saying try to work through it the best you can, rather than just don't do the practice for that day.
Yeah, because in my experience, Lisa, it's always kind of worked itself out. It's never, unless you have a cold or something, or else you have some kind of physical issue, it will work itself out.
Yeah, I don't think it helped that I had just gotten up, so.
Yeah, I think that was small part of it.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any thoughts to share? Thank you, Lisa. Anything else? Stillness?
I'd like to share a thought.
Yes, go ahead.
So yesterday I read a research article about how nasal cleansing is the very best thing you can do next to taking vitamin D3 to protect your body against COVID-19. There was a whole research thing when the yogis wrote about it and different people wrote about it. So I just thought that was something that I would like to share.
Thanks, Susan. Is it Susan or Suzanne?
Suzanne.
Suzanne, sorry. Thanks, Suzanne. Yeah, Dina, do you remember the article you sent me on that?
Absolutely.
And what do you remember it saying?
The neti pot is extremely beneficial in clearing out the nostrils, because the whole idea, the reason what they are finding out, the people that are more likely to get the virus through the nasal passages are if your nasal passages are dry. So the idea is to keep it as moist as possible, and the salt solution and water helps to keep it as moist as you can. And that's your first line of defense. So you're much less likely to actually get the virus that way. So that's the thinking behind it. And also in terms of air temperature in the home, it should be around 60% humidity if you're able to, control that with a dehumidifier. And that's another thing that they're finding out more and more that can be very beneficial. One thing I wanted to also suggest to Lisa, if I may, Lisa, make sure you hydrate first thing in the morning when you do get up, because more and more we're finding out that people are really dehydrated. And the dehydration can also make you more prone to having things clog up in the body. So, the idea is to drink at least a quart of warm water. And, even if it's within a 2-hour period, however long it takes you to drink that, but to do the flushing of the whole system prior to eating anything seems to be incredibly helpful too.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sure.
Another thought on that is the Nasya oil. If those of you like Ayurveda at all, the science of life called Ayurveda, the sister science to yoga. Nasya oil, N-Y-S-A-S-A? Nasya.
N-Y-S-A, yeah.
Did I say it right? Okay, thanks, Carol. Nasya oil, really good. Just putting a little tip of Nasya oil on your finger, and then just a little up in the nose, done. That's it. So that'll also help keep the passages moist.
Right.
Lots of things to do. Beautiful. Well, thank you all for being here today. Thank you for joining the Sunday Sangha. I really appreciate this time. It's certainly healing for me to feel that too. So thanks for your input and for participating. It's always nice to hear people's voices. I'll be back here on Sunday next week. So keep in touch until then, and big fat namaste to all of you. Thank you for being here.
And
we'll see you next week.
Yes. Thanks so much, Joe.
All right.
Thank you,
Peace,
Joe.
everyone.
Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful Sunday.
Bye,
Thank
Fran.
You, you too, dear.
Bye, Linda.
Bye, Suzanne.
Barry, good to see you.
Bye, Amy.
Thanks again.
See you,
Have a great
Janie.
week.